About 2 weeks ago, we had Ergo pushing up to about $2, $2.50. You can see that right here. This was about 2 weeks ago. Last week, we didn't make a video on Ergo trading because I was moving apartments, didn't really have time. So that was about right here. But, 2 weeks ago, we did talk about how we thought ERG was going to sit in this channel, which it did over the last week or so. And today we're going to talk about it breaking lower down to about the $1.52 mark that we're at today. And then, it's kind of being pushed below that 200 moving average. So we're going to look at Ergo today. We're going to look at ERG specifically today and talk about, what we think could happen the next week. I do think that this is going to be a harder discussion to kind of like understand what ERG is going to do over the next week. So from this, I will be posting on Twitter this week, if I see anything crazy happen. But let's just get into the chart and see what it's saying, what's been happening, and what might happen over the next week or so. So like we said in our previous Ergo trading video, we did accumulate between the $1.63 and $1.77 range. Unfortunately, this last week we have broken below that $1.63 range, and now we are sitting at about $1.52. I'm not super surprised that we're here, especially this week, but what is surprising is that we've broken below our 200-day moving average. Sorry. So this orange line is our 200-day simple moving average. The 50-day simple moving average is the blue line. And then down here, we have our RSI. Purple line is the RSI. Yellow line is the RSI moving average. And everything I'm doing here is on a free TradingView account. So if you want to copy and model the same thing yourself, then you can do that on your own. If you see this week, I've also drawn in a diagonal upsloping trend line that kind of looks like this was the kind of the low for Ergo for this cycle down here at about $1.10. And then we've kind of bounced off this twice already. And that's what I think might be happening over the next couple of days. If you look right here, sort of where we are today, we're coming into a ton of resistance. Not only do we have the $1.63, which is now resistance instead of support, we have the 50-day moving average with it, which is now resistance and not support. And we have the 200-day moving average, which is resistance and not support. Our new support level is $1.52 around there. And then we have this secondary diagonal upsloping trend line of support, which would be around $1.47, $1.50, depending on where you hit on the trend line over the next couple of days. What this right here is telling me is that ERG will not be breaking above $1.63 over the next couple of days. I think it would be very, very difficult for the token itself to break above these two converging moving averages, especially because right now we have our 50 kind of downsloping. So when you look at these, when the 50 is above the 200, that is technically like a bullish indicator. So you have bullish momentum. You can see it back here. In the bull run, your 50 is above your 200. And while this is a lagging indicator of sorts because we're on the daily time frame, you need to be on like the hourly or like the 30-minute to see a more realistic expectation of where today's action is going to be. But on the daily, it's a little bit of a lagging indicator. But traditionally, the 50 is a bullish if it's over the 200. And if the 200 is over the 50, that is bearish. What you're seeing here is, yes, the 50 is over the 200, but it doesn't look like it's going upwards. It looks like it's curving down, and I will ultimately imagine to see the 200 slope back above the 50, which is why I think we'll probably either chop along this $1.52, but I ultimately think we'll break below and hit this ascending trend line. Some reasons I think that is the case is that our RSI is still pushing towards 30. Now, the RSI does not frequently hit 30 for Ergo on the daily time frame. But when it does, we usually do tend to see a significant bottoming. So if you see like back here, 30, it kind of bottomed around here, and then you would have made this gain over here. Same thing kind of here. It did break lower, but you would have made a gain over here if you bought at 30. You would have made a gain when it gets above 70. Okay, so I think the same thing's playing out right now where ERG is trying to find its 30, find that oversold section, which I would imagine would be at this trend line or somewhere around here. You never really see this token kind of break below 30 to a huge extent, but we did just pump way above, and I think we're reaching an oversold territory. Another thing that I think is really interesting to look at when you take this low of the cycle and you do a Fibonacci retracement all the way up here to the top, kind of where we have peaked so far, you can see that. Let me put this here. You can see that right here, where that trend line is converging on our daily time frame is the 618. If you watch any of the crypto capital venture videos for Cardano trading, You know, Dan talks about this 618 line. The 618 to the 0.5 is just, or the 786 to 618, I believe is what he says, is such like a key level for him. But the 618 is coming in right along our yellow trend line. And, you know, over the next few days, if we get there, we'll be touching right around here at this $1.47 level. This is kind of what I would expect to happen is right now we're holding support at $1.50, you know, but it kind of looks like we're going to break lower. We have, you know, a lot of resistance up here in the 50, the 200, and in this trend line on the $1.63 level. We have a Fibonacci retracement saying that, you know, the 618 is right down here, which is one of the most retraced to Fibonacci patterns in trading. So when you see it, it's kind of really interesting. But these converging of events, especially with our RSI staying below the RSI moving average, pushing lower, and then also, if you come into the candle section on TradingView, and you know, traditionally we look at candles, but if you look at the Heikin Ashi, this kind of shows a better sense of trends of where things are going. Let me zoom out here, and you can see when you're in bullish times, it shows the trend moving one way, and when you're in bearish times, it shows the trend moving another way. So it doesn't really focus on the buys and sells intraday, more of it shows the trend of what's happening throughout a day. Okay, so you can see we had the big pump over the last 2 weeks, and then slowly we've been coming down. You can see right now we're in a downward trend. When it looks like this, you have long big candles that are, you know, long and thick. These are pushing the price downwards, and you can see we are coming into some of those right now. When they get short, it's signs of a slight reversal or an accumulation. You know, the price doesn't really know if it's going to go up or down, which is what we had over the past week. But now you can see we're getting back into those longer candles, and I would expect either another long candle or a short accumulation candle, something like that along this $1.52 area, possibly breaking below and hitting this trend line at about $1.47 over the next couple days. If we zoom out, we can also see that there's really not any other major lows that we can kind of play off of here, right? I mean, ERG's coming into this level. You know, if it wants to break below this trend line, there's not a whole lot of places for it to go. It can come down here to about $1.32, or it can go back to its low of lows at about $1.10. So really over the next few days, this is not something I can really just like tell today, but over the next few days, I can stay updated with everyone on Twitter. But this, you know, I could see it calling that next week will break, over the next few days, we'll break to this trend line. But if we get kind of like an unexpected downturn in Bitcoin, or an unexpected downturn in the stock market, or an unexpected like rise in rates, or something that's unexpected, we don't really have a whole lot of support below this area except for $1.32 and $1.10. So none of it's bad, I don't think. Again, I'm not really a trader. I look at the charts for my long-term hold positions, and I would 100% say anything under $2 for ERG is a buy signal for me. I actually put in an order today to buy some, about a little bit, and it's slowly been filled over time. But I have that buying ERG at $1.53 today. So I don't think that anything in these levels, whether you buy at $1.50 or $1.10 or $1.32, is bad. But I do understand people want to make the most of their money, so that's what we're trying to do here. I would not particularly say that we're going to go to $1.30 or $1.10 right now. I would probably say that we will end up down here at about $1.47-ish, and then from there we might have to reassess. If, you know, the 200 and the 50-day flip-flop a little bit, and if when we break down to $1.47, this RSI gets like to 32, to 33, to 30, then I would be comfortable saying, all right, we're oversold. It's time for ERG to take some green back into its life, take some price back upwards. Another key thing you want to remember here is, you know, we looked at a couple of indicators like our RSI, like our moving averages, and we looked at the Fibonacci retracement, but a lot of these indicators they're not as important as you think. What's really important is the price, the volume, and from those you can get the trend line. So what's really important is the price. What is the price doing? Right now, the price it's just going down. Okay, so we're in a downtrend on a smaller macro level over the past few months, right? Like we've come up and down and up and down. It's like we're building a flag and then we're building a flag. So I don't think anything's going to be different here than the last time. I mean, the last time we had a big pump like this, we came back and touched this trend line, and then we touched it again, and then we pumped again. So what might happen here? We might touch the trend line. We might come up in this $1.52 range, accumulate to the side until we hit the trend line again and pop up, maybe, when would that be? Like late May, right? You don't really know. It's hard to tell, especially with Bitcoin sitting below that 30,500 level, Ethereum sitting below 2,000. Interest rates in America are still going up every month. We'll have to see if they go up next month again, but there really is not a whole lot of reason for price to go up dramatically for a sustained period of time, right? Like we're in just lower price mode, and that's probably what I think will happen over the next week at least until we make another video. Probably the best thing that I could say from this video right now that has the most predictability, the most patterns, the most realistic scenario playing out is we break the $1.52 level, we come touch this trend line at maybe $1.47, $1.48, something like that over, maybe on Monday or something, right? Like Sunday, Monday. It really will depend to see if Sunday wants to break below or if Sunday wants to stay above the $1.52. Then does Monday break below $1.52? Then does Tuesday confirm that we've broken below $1.52 and stay below, right? That's what I would be watching for. And if you really want to time the market, I would probably try and time bouncing off this trend line, because this trend line has shown bounces, and I think it would take a lot to break below, right? Like Ethereum isn't going down to like 1,600, right? Bitcoin doesn't have a whole lot of reason to go to like 2,500, right? These things can happen and they might happen, but right now we've been sitting at 29,000 on Bitcoin, and we're sitting around 18 to 1,900 Ethereum for like 2 months, right? So for ERG, I don't really see it breaking to $1.30. That doesn't mean it can't happen, but I don't think anything's wrong with trying to time the market at $1.47, $1.48 over, the next couple of days. And then if you buy there and we break down to $1.30, nothing bad is going to happen, right? Over the next couple of months, throughout the summer, we'll be back to $2 and it won't be a huge deal, right? So anything under $2, I'm confident, that we won't be under there for too long, right? I think most people in Ergo feel this way, that anything under $2 is a massive buy opportunity. And yes, you might be underwater. Like I've been buying at $1.70, $1.80. Today I bought at $1.53. I bought maybe at $1.68, something like that. Overall, I'm not too far away from profit, right? That's the thing, is we want to buy not too far away from profit. Like if you could have bought here at $1.10 and timed that perfectly, that would have been great, right? But does it really matter if you buy at $1.20 or $1.30 instead, right? In the whole realm of thing, we all want ERG to go to $20, $50, $100 plus. So anything under two, I think, is a great buying opportunity. All right. That's kind of all I have for this video today. Again, if you want to, please go draw these trend lines in on TradingView. We have them at $2, $1.77, $1.63, $1.52, and then upsloping trend line. You'll see this when you get in there on the daily chart. If you look at what else is interesting is if you get into some smaller time frames here, like say you look at the hour chart, you can see we're getting oversold. Okay. If you look at 30-minute chart, we are oversold, right? So the way that people kind of do day trading is they'll look at like the 5-minute chart or the 3-minute chart, and then they'll look at the 15 or like the 10, and then they'll look at like the 30 or the hour, and then look at the daily. So what they do is they take like these really short time frames, like 5, 10, 30, and an hour, and if they're all showing the same things, like say that the 3 is oversold, the 5 is oversold, the hour is oversold, and the daily is oversold, that's probably a pretty good buying opportunity because everything is oversold. Now, if the 3-minute is starting to pop up and it's like around 40 or 50 on the RSI, but the 15 minutes still oversold and the hour is still oversold, those might be switching to moving up on the RSI, over the next little bit, right? So there's ways to look at multiple time frames. And if we look at like the 4-hour, the 4-hour is starting to get oversold, right? So does this indicate that maybe our daily chart's going to get oversold soon? It's possible, right? So if you look at the 3-minute or the 5-minute or the 1-hour or the 4-hour, these all show more realistic of what's happening right now. And that will trend into the daily, which will trend into the weekly, which will trend into the monthly, right? So We've been looking at the daily in this video. If we look at the weekly, you can see that, our RSI is still above the RSI moving average. We're sitting at about a 45 on the RSI, kind of just like hanging out. But, we're below 50, so we're probably in a downtrend. If we look at the daily, we're at, about 40, definitely in a downtrend, moving downwards. So it's like these things are kind of lining up to show momentum is moving downwards, and I wouldn't expect it to not happen. That's kind of all the price analysis I can give you today. I would watch this $1.47 level on this upsloping trend line over the next day or two, maybe like Monday, Tuesday, something like that. And, I'll try and stay up to date with it. But that's kind of the best price prediction and trading idea I can give you as of right now. If you want to stay up to date with it, you can follow me on Twitter. Link down below in this video if you want to join me on Twitter. But that's the video for today. That's what I think I'll be watching personally. Again, I kind of do a DCA buy. I'm not really worried about timing the $1.47 low. I just buy on like whatever day I feel like it. So if I feel like buying this week, I will. If I feel like buying next week, I will. If I feel like going out to eat a little more in 2 weeks, maybe I won't buy that week, right? So I just kind of do it like that. It's kind of like DCA, but to my own lifestyle. So I'm not really too worried about hitting the $1.47 or hitting a $1.53. I think that this, RSI is showing momentum downward. The Heiken Ashby chart is showing momentum downward right here. It is definitely, right? And we're coming into that $1.60, I'm sorry, the 618 Fibonacci down, so I think we're in a downward trend, but eventually we will have been going down for too long that ERG will have to bounce up and take some price back, right? So that's kind of what I think is happening. Hopefully, if you agree or disagree, please let us know in the comments, but hopefully you kind of agree, and hopefully we can all make some good, gains in the next bull market. All right. Have a good week, everyone. Have a good weekend. See you in the next one.